Hey everybody, it's Alvin Brown here with Integrated Peak Performance. Back again, I told you we're going to be going all year with all the athletes that we can find, amateurs, pros. Just again, pick the brains of everyone we can get. We can all learn from everybody at every stage, and that's what I want to do. No one will be overlooked. So today, I have another of my athletes, Lise the Beast Thexton. She's here to give us some tips, and I got another added surprise too. Her partner in crime, Daryl Burke, we'll have him later too to get his perspective. How is it being a couple going through this sport, this very demanding sport? This sport will either make you or break you, and it's even worse as a couple. So you got to be on the same page, and we're going to find out how they're doing it, and they're actually smiling. I don't know how they're doing it. So anyways, here we go. Lise Thexton's got 4 questions that I got to ask her. Nice, short, sweet, as usual, and get into her head. So the first one, Lise, what's the difference now in preparation, mental and physical, since you've won your pro card? Have you decreased the intensity? How is it now?
It's definitely increased.
Yeah.
The focus has been switched. You know, before it was it was all about, I want that pro card. I'm going to do whatever I need to do, work as hard as I need to do, sacrifice to get that pro card. Now that I've gotten there, it's shifted. It's become more intense. It's become a higher level of focus to get to that next step.
Next level.
Is, you know, eventually making it to the Olympia and having that goal that's set that far, that something that you can work towards.
Yeah, that's great. You know, that reminds me of a quote. I think it was GSP from the UFC who said there's simplicity in the struggle to get to it, and there's complexity in the success, because it's so simple when you're striving and moving towards it. It's all about one goal. You got your mind set, and there's you haven't got anything to lose. But when you're there, it seems a bit more pressure. It seems, how do you get better than you were getting there? And this is where the real work comes in. And so it's great. Pick the brain of, again, the people who have been there. So number 2, what's going to be different next time we see you on stage in a few weeks? Again, here you are, you gave it everything, and it seemed like your best. Like when you're going for your pro card, to get your pro card, you got to be your best at that stage. Then how do you top it going into your pro card?
We basically go back to the drawing board and see where we need to improve and what areas I need to work on, and it becomes a focus on those areas and bringing a better package to the stage. So this time it's going to be sharper legs and bring up areas that I needed to work on and just the best package I can possibly bring. Awesome.
All right, next, what advice, and this is key here, what advice do you have for those on the journey to their pro card? I like to ask this to Lise, especially because it's still fresh. She hasn't forgotten what the struggle was like, and it's good to pick her brain again to just get where maybe you're there, maybe you're right on the edge of getting it, and you just mentally, or maybe you've even been there and you've been denied, but mentally, what can we expect?
Well, how bad do you want it? If you want it and you'll do anything to get it, it's about training hard and sacrifice. You can't go out with your friends on the weekends and go have dinner and drinks and stuff. You have to make those sacrifices and diet and training and be in the gym twice a day or however many times a day you train. It's a lifestyle. In the off season, you can't let it go and change it completely. It becomes your life. You consumes you. Yeah. So in the off season, it's just as hard training. It's just as hard keeping on your diet as it is in show prep. You can't just decide 12 weeks I'm gonna do a show, or I'm gonna step it up in those 12 weeks. You have to work hard in the off season to show all of that hard work. When you do lean out and on stage, it's going to show all of that hard work that you did in the off season, and it's going to make you the best athlete that you can be.
Yeah. So again, I've been working on these guys for 16 years, and I tell you, I've never been tempted to even try the sport because of that. Now you're talking to me here, and you're saying before you get your pro card, it's hard work, and then you get your pro card. It's even more hard work. There's no rest. So now you know I rather buy the ticket than be on the stage. So you gotta love it. You gotta love it. And you know, many times it's for what? A tin cup and a t-shirt, and before you get the glory. So last one. How do you plan to leave your mark in this game? How do you make a difference?
Hard work, doing your best at shows, getting to that goal. So for me, the next step is working as hard as I possibly can to get on that Olympia stage, and making a mark where people know who I was, whether you know, I win the Olympia one day or any other show, just to be known, to be remembered. Oh, so and so, you see a picture. Oh, that's Lee Sexton from, you know, whatever show that may be. Just to make your mark, to be known, so people remember who you are.
Right on. You know, it's funny enough. Lisa's talking about this, and I just thought about this. You know, I got this T-shirt from a friend of mine. It says, "Be phenomenal or be forgotten," and it's kind of like that's what Lisa's talking about. So again, this year, 2014, we're gonna make some noise. Those of you who are ahead of her, watch out, she's coming. I'm laying it down for her. You know, she doesn't want to do it, but I'm gonna lay it down for her. So, anyways, and Alvin Brown, Integrated Peak Performance. I'll be right back. I got Daryl Burke coming up. Take care. All right, everybody, back again. We're here with Daryl Burke, partner with Lise. So here's the deal. Daryl's competed in 4 shows already, and I want to get he's coupled with Lise, and you know, helping her to push her through. So I want to pick his brain and see what it's like. You know, the first question I'm going to ask him is, so he's been on the journey. Now there's no predetermined goal, or he hasn't set a show that we know of anyways. I think he's lying to me, but he hasn't set up a show and told me about it. So how does he keep his intensity in the gym? And with no predetermined goal, most of us need something to aim for, but somehow he keeps it going and keeps the intensity. He still looks pretty good. How does he keep it going?
You know, Alvin, you know, I started training when I was like a teenager. So it's been like 20 plus years. I mean, I'm in my 40s now, so if I ever step on stage, I'll also do the Masters. So. Right. But it's a passion. It comes down to a passion. If you don't like working out, if you don't like being in the gym, you're not going to make it. It's instilled in you. It's a drive that keeps you going. Yeah. You know, I've been through injuries. There's days where you're in the gym and you're just tired, especially doing show prep. You just want to give up and quit when you're halfway through because you can't stand it anymore. You're tired, exhausted, but that passion just keeps bringing you back. And I couldn't imagine not doing anything else. I mean, I gave up other sports just to
do this,
stay in the bodybuilding and stuff. I like the way it makes me feel. It's my home. It's my second home. I go in there. I love it. Not being in there, I couldn't imagine. It's going to be something I'll do, and you know, for the rest of my life. Awesome.
You know, I think that's awesome because it's such an internal sport. You know, there's no one there with you to push you. It's not a team thing. You know, it's kind of a team, like Lisa and, you know, they're a team. Lisa and Daryl are a team. But really and truly, you got to be there. It's got to be an internal drive, and I don't know how he does it. So kudos to him. Kudos to everybody who gets in there with no predetermined goal, just gets in every day to feel, you know, that energy. So the second part is, you're with Lisa right now. She's training hard, and she's intense. And it's a very isolated sport. If your partner isn't on board with you, it's tough. It's a tough game to win alone, win together, and so on. What's your secret? How are you staying out of her way, staying in her way, keeping her motivated, knowing when to back off, when to stay on her, you know, so on and so on? How are you doing it? What's the secret?
You know what? Surprisingly, Lise and I we both sort of diet the same on and off season. So when we met each other that way, it was very simple. And just carrying that lifestyle in general, we weren't really opposite there. So we always ate fairly clean. We enjoyed our cheat meals in the off season together. So everything seemed to be timed, but it flew nicely. I think we just have so much in common that way. She has a crazy determination and a drive that's you know, undeniable. She's a gifted athlete. I've always told her from day one. And there's no surprise, you know, she is where she is. So for her being that focused and her stepping into my life, it just, you know, if I was ever starting to fade, she would have brought it back. So, you know, she just keeps me going.
Yeah.
And, you know, inspires me to train harder. And I think, you know, I feed off her.
Yeah.
And I think vice versa, because, you know, she told me so many times that, you know, my support for her has, you know, kept her level-headed and kept her wanting to go further than she ever could before. And, you know, her training and her dieting is simple.
Yeah.
And if you can make your prep simple, and you're not miserable doing it, I mean, it's so much easier. There's no stress. It's a lifestyle, and if you love it and everything is smooth and stress-free, you're going to do well.
Okay. Now, you know, this is the reason you heard all that pushing him and doing all this. This is why I think he's not telling us the real deal, that he's not gone yet. He's not gone yet. Now, so last question, and this is for, I'm going to change it up a bit. If a couple, what would you give an advice to a couple? One's not in it, one's out of it. You've done the training, the prepping, you know what it takes. Now you're with Lise. What would you say to a person training now? How do they do this?
If they're not
in it, they're just bystanders. How's that work?
You know what? It's again, that's going to be a personality thing. It's going to be a couple thing. You know, if one person wants to do it and the other one is not, that's not their passion, but there's got to be that understanding. Yeah. Right? Because I mean, it's a different lifestyle, and you know, if one person's not doing it and one person's eating strictly, even through the off season, fairly well, and the other person just wants to order this type of food or go to restaurants all the time or hang out at pubs or whatever, and they have to understand that their partner can't. Yeah. They can do it, but as Lee's mentioned before, you know, you can do 12 weeks of prep if you want, but those 40 weeks prior is going to show what you did on stage. Yeah. So the prep is just stripping everything down. Yeah. So if you have a partner that doesn't understand that passion, it's going to be hard. Yeah. So it's nice to be with a supportive person, and that's where Lise and I excel, because I mean, even though I say I'm retired still, she supports the hell out of me and pushes you. So we feed off each other and we keep each other going. So when she's tired and down, you know what I mean, I think, okay, I've been there. You know, how does it keep me going up? So I'll give her some advice and give her the support, and it seems I get a thank you back, and it keeps her drive going. Yeah, and so I guess every day is tiring, and she'll do the same to me.
And I guess you know when to step away as well, don't you?
You know what? Absolutely. I mean, if she's stressed out and stuff, I mean, you got to give everybody some space. Yeah. But I mean, I can't say enough about Lee. She's been a great support in my life, but she's just an athlete that seems to hold everything together quite well. Yeah. She doesn't seem to be an angry dieter, I'll say that. Yeah. I think because she eats fairly well off season, and she sticks to her lifestyle all the way through the year, that she's not really the grumpier. I've seen grumpier dieters, and she's not one of them, so that's a little helpful, but there are people that will clash that way for sure.
Okay, cool. You know, I see a series here, Dr. Phil, Canadian Dr. Phil here, talking about what strategies couples can take to make it through a prep. So to end it off, Lise, we will see her March 8th.
March 8th in St. Louis.
St. Louis, where she takes the win. Maybe. Anyways, that's what we're aiming for. So look out for her. We're going to interview her after the win and find out what it feels like to have won her first pro show. And then we'll talk to you soon. We're out. Alvin Brown, Integrated Peak Performance, Daryl Burke, Lise Thexton. We're out. We'll talk to you soon.